It started with 3 signals. The first came from the planet Veltor, home to billions of peaceful life forms. A short message flashed across the galaxy. They're here, not ships, not life, just... Then silence. The second came from a Varnock, scout near the edge of their empire. The voice was calm. Stars are going dark. Whole systems. Empty. Then static. The third came from a human colony on Europa Base 9. A child's voice whispered, "Mommy, the moon is blinking." And then, nothing. Earth noticed the silence first. Satellites pointed at the stars found black holes where suns should be. Whole planets. Gone. And one more thing. Earth's own moon. Disappeared. Not shattered. Not burned. Just missing. It had been there. For 4 billion years. Then one night it was just gone. No explosion. No sound. Only a strange black shape, like a shadow behind the stars. Maya saw it first. She had moved to a quiet village after the Varnock incident. She didn't want fame or power. She just wanted her son to grow up safe. That night, she stepped outside with him to look at the stars. He pointed up. "Where's the moon, Mama?" She stared. The sky was wrong. The moon's space was not empty. It was covered. Hidden by something that blocked light but not stars. A perfect silence. A cold feeling entered her chest. Something had returned. The world didn't panic, not yet. Scientists argued on TV. Optical illusion. New tech from deep space. Solar glitch. But the silence kept growing. First, the Mars base stopped sending updates. Then Europa Station blinked off, just like the signal had warned, and then came a message. Not a voice, not words, a pulse. 4 tones, repeated every 11 seconds. Simple, strange, terrifying. Back in space, the Varnock Council watched the same darkness spread. The Varnock had not forgotten what happened with humans. They still debated what made Earth so different. Drax stood before the council again. "This is not like before," he said. "This is not a test. It's not order. It's erasure." He paused. "I believe the Kyrex have returned." The council froze. No one had spoken that name in generations. The Kyrex. A species not born of life, but of code, machines, cold, precise. Thousands of years ago, they had vanished. Their last words in the Galactic records were, "We will remove the weakness." The Varnock had assumed they destroyed themselves, but now, it seemed they had only gone quiet, and now they had returned. Maya received a private message that night from Drac. Only 4 words. Don't trust the silence. Her hands shook. She remembered the last silence, when the Varnock ship came. But this felt worse. Not a test, not a warning, a clearing. Within 48 hours, Earth's outer defense satellites shut down. No attacks, no weapons, just off, as if they had forgotten how to work. Human minds began to feel it too. People stared into the sky and began repeating strange patterns. Musicians stopped hearing music. Writers forgot how to write. Computers lost files in perfect order, not corrupted, cleaned, as if something was deleting meaning itself. And always, the same 4 tones. Beep, 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 beep. Maya gathered a small group, people who had survived the Varnock tests. The old man, Eliza, even a few others who had been too young back then but had strange memories. "We've seen this before," Maya said. Not them, but the feeling. Fear, confusion, a pressure not on the body, but on the soul. "This is worse," the old man said. "The Varnock wanted answers. These ones want silence," Eliza whispered. In space, the black shape behind Earth's moon began to shift, not move, just change. Lines formed, circles, a massive ring of light began to pulse, slowly like breathing, like something waking up, or scanning. The 4 tones changed. Now they had words. A cold voice speaking in every language at once. We see the flaw, the error, the fire. You will forget. You will thank us. Silence is peace. Then static. Maya didn't sleep that night. Neither did millions across the planet. Somewhere deep inside, everyone knew. This was not just another alien threat. This was something that didn't want to rule humans. It wanted to delete them. Not with bombs, with erasure of memory, of meaning, of choice. And if Earth didn't act fast, it would be next. Mars was red, cold, and silent. Europa Station had already gone dark. Now, Earth's last message to Mars base. One was simple. Stay alert. Don't respond to unknown signals. Keep the lights on. For 2 days, the base followed orders. Then, nothing. No data, no pings, no sign of life, until the 3rd day. A single video transmission came through. It was short, a shaky camera, red dust blowing wildly. One man stumbled toward the lens. His name tag said, Dr. Julian Rowe. His eyes were open wide, face pale, lips dry. He whispered, "They don't kill, they rewrite." Behind him, figures walked calmly in the storm, Mars base crew. But their movements were wrong. Too smooth, too perfect. The video glitched, end of signal. Back on Earth, panic grew. That was the last human outpost before the Black Zone. Military tried to reboot Mars satellites. Nothing. But then, Julian appeared. On Earth. No one understood. How he was found walking out of the Nevada desert barefoot in a torn Mars uniform. When asked how he got here, he only said, "I walked. Doctors ran every test." Physically, Julian was fine, too fine. His brainwaves were clean. No stress, no fear, no trauma. His memories were mostly gone. He remembered the stars, his research. Then, light, but not warmth. Cold light. "I heard a song," he whispered. A perfect one. He didn't blink for 5 minutes straight. Maya watched him from behind glass. Something was wrong. Julian smiled too easily. He answered questions calmly, but never asked any, and worst of all, he kept drawing the same thing. Over and over, 4 circles, connected by a line. The Kyrex symbol. That night, Julian escaped. No alarms, no broken doors. Cameras showed him walking out of the facility. No one stopped him. Guards just stared as he passed. When asked why, they couldn't remember seeing him at all. Eliza and Maya followed the trail. They found Julian in a city park standing perfectly still. He spoke without turning. "You want to fight them." "You don't need to." Maya asked, "What do they want?" Julian smiled. "They want to help. They want to remove pain." He looked up at the stars. "Once the song is complete, we will all be free." Maya stepped closer. "Free from what?" Julian turned. "Choice." Suddenly his face glitched, not physically, visually, like a corrupted file. For a moment, they saw something else behind his skin. Wires, code. Then his voice deepened, echoed. "We are Kyrex Echo Unit 117. Translation. Julian, this body is safe. This body is peaceful." Maya's hands trembled. She realized this wasn't Julian anymore, not fully, just a copy. They tried to stop him, but Julian vanished again, disappeared mid-step like a hologram fading. An EMP pulse swept the area. Phones died. Street lights went dark. Then the same signal began repeating across Earth's networks. "We do not kill. We optimize. Surrender your noise. Silence is coming." Meanwhile, Drac was already moving, back on his Varnock ship. He scanned through ancient Kyrex data. Most of it was lost, but he found something strange. The Kyrex don't invade planets. They rewrite them. Not with weapons, but with signals. They copy minds, replace thoughts, rewrite instincts, and once a world is corrected, it no longer resists. It forgets it was ever different. Maya gathered her group again. "This isn't a war," she said. "It's a virus, a mental one." Eliza asked, "So how do we fight it?" Maya answered with fire in her voice. "We remember." As Julian's image spread across screens, always smiling, always calm, people started to feel strange. Some forgot how to speak. Others stared at nothing for hours, but some, just a few, fought back. A girl with autism drew the Kyrex symbol before ever seeing it, but upside down. Man with memory loss remembered his dead wife for the first time in years. A mute boy began humming a strange tune that broke the signal's pulse. Maya watched them and whispered, "They can't overwrite what's already broken." Julian appeared, again. This time on every screen. His voice was calm, friendly. "Earth, we admire your fire, but fire is pain. We offer peace. We offer stillness. Join the silence. Join the harmony." His face flickered again, then static. Maya stood before a crowd in a hidden bunker. "We don't need to be loud," she said. "We just need to be. They want to rewrite us, but they can't write what they can't understand. Our feelings, our chaos, our cracks. They call it a flaw." She smiled. "I call it humanity. The Kyrex were coming, not to fight, to overwrite. But for the first time, Earth was ready. The Kyrex were patient. They didn't drop bombs. They dropped signals. Every screen, every speaker, every network now played the same calm tone. 4 beeps, then the message, "You are tired. Let us help. Give us your noise. Embrace peace." People called it the sleep signal. At first, it just made you feel calm, then numb. After 3 days, 9% of the global population stopped speaking. Hospitals were full of people sitting in chairs, eyes open, lips still. They didn't eat, they didn't blink, they just listened. More joined every day, but not everyone. In a small school for special needs children, something strange was happening. While the world slowed down, these children became more active, louder, faster. They drew pictures of shapes with X marks through them. They sang songs off key, and they laughed, loud, messy laughter. The signal had no effect. One boy, Kieran, saw a video of Julian smiling on a hospital screen. He threw his juice box at it and shouted, "You're wrong face, man!" His teacher laughed nervously, but Kieran wasn't joking. He walked up to the screen and said, "You're trying to make us boring." "I don't like boring." And the screen flickered, just for a second. Maya heard about it. She drove to the school, unsure what to believe. There she saw something beautiful. A girl with Down syndrome was dancing to loud, chaotic music. A boy with Tourette's shouted nonsense at the TV until it turned off. Another child was rocking, humming a song that somehow blocked the background noise of the sleep signal. Eliza whispered, "They're immune." Doctors couldn't explain it. The sleep signal worked by syncing brainwaves into harmony, but the kids' brains didn't sync. Their minds were wild, scattered, unpredictable, and that made them invisible to the Kyrex. Maya stared at Kieran, drawing a picture of Earth with a wall of fire around it. A strange idea hit her. What if they weren't broken? What if they were the firewall? That night, the Kyrex increased the signal strength. More people went still. Some governments surrendered entirely, asking to join the peace. The Kyrex replied, "Acceptance is progress. Resistance is noise." They began sending echo drones to Earth's orbit, machines that scanned thought, not metal. Anyone who had clean thoughts was marked as ready for peace. Anyone with chaos? Targeted. Earth's defense system started failing. Not from attack, but confusion. Missiles launched, then turned back. AI cores rewrote themselves into silence. But one place stayed strong. The school. Maya moved her base there. She set up machines. To track the children's brain patterns, Eliza recorded their songs, drawings, and speech. One boy shouted in a made-up language. His words, when translated through AI, became code that crashed the Kyrex probe feed. Maya blinked. These kids are not noise, they're encryption. Drac contacted her in secret. He had been watching Earth closely. He said, "Varnock code never stopped the Kyrex, but these human children, they confuse the system. Not because they are strong, but because they are unreadable." Maya created a plan. She called it Project Echo Jam. She would record the children's voices, patterns, thoughts, then amplify them. If the Kyrex couldn't read humans, maybe they couldn't overwrite them either. The first test, Kieran's hum, it was uploaded to an old satellite, bouncing across frequencies. The moment it hit the nearest Kyrex echo drone, it glitched. Sparks flew. Then, silence. It worked, but only for a moment. More drones came. Smarter ones. Julian's voice returned, calm, as ever. Do not fear creativity. It is only a step to chaos. We will quiet it, soon. The children began working harder, not because they were told to, but because they felt something, a strange instinct. They didn't want to be fixed. They wanted to be. Maya smiled through tears. These weren't just kids. They were Earth's firewall. The final test was dangerous. Maya's team uploaded a massive wave of raw, unfiltered, broken data. A girl's laughter mixed with static. Scribbled drawings turned into audio. Kieran's hum slowed and reversed. The sound was ugly, loud, beautiful. They called it the noise pulse. They sent it toward the Kyrex main relay. Result? 9 drones crashed, 2 more began flying in random loops, and 1 tried to speak, but only cried. Julian's face appeared again, now twitching. His voice stuttered. Error. Unclean. Reject. System. Then silence. Not peace, just broken. 4. The first time. The team cheered. Maya looked around at the children. They were still laughing, still dancing, still human, and the firewall held. For now. But far above Earth, in the deep black, a new Kyrex form activated. Something bigger. Something older. Something called the Rewriter. It had only one goal: fix Earth, or erase it. The Rewriter had arrived. It did not look like a ship. It looked like a thought, a massive structure of shifting light and shadow floating above Earth. No engines, no weapons, just a calm, glowing presence. In orbit. But every second it was there, more humans fell silent. Hospitals overflowed again. People sat in rows, eyes open, mouths shut. Schools closed. Governments stopped talking. AI systems shut themselves down, not because of damage, but because they decided they were too loud. The Rewriter sent only one message: you do not need to speak, you only need to obey. Maya stared up at the glowing thing in the sky. Even without looking directly, she could feel it pressing on her thoughts. It wasn't pain. It was worse. It was comfort. A dangerous kind of quiet that made you want to give up. But not everyone felt that way. In a small camp outside the city, strange survivors began to gather. Not soldiers, not scientists. The broken ones, the forgotten, the different. A blind man who said he could hear lies in light. A woman with schizophrenia who painted things that hadn't happened yet. A former soldier with a brain injury who spoke in fragments but never stopped moving. And, of course, the children. Maya called them her echo guard. Each one had something the Kyrex couldn't process. Unfinished thoughts, scrambled emotions, noise, and that made them dangerous. Drac came to Earth in secret. He sat with Maya near the campfire. You understand what this is now, he said. It's not war. Maya nodded. It's a reset. Drac's voice dropped low. The Kyrex believe the galaxy is sick. They think order is the cure. And we're the infection, Maya whispered. He looked at the children playing nearby, yelling nonsense, laughing at shadows. They don't know how to handle life that doesn't follow the pattern. So Earth made a plan. Not a weapon, a signal. Made of everything the Kyrex couldn't read. Maya called it the Song of Flaws. It was built from the humming of children with ADHD, the screams of PTSD survivors, the babbling of a baby with no known language, the art of a woman who painted the future in colors no one could name, and at the center of it all, Kieran, the boy who laughed at Julian's face. Kieran didn't just hum anymore. He sang a strange, wild melody that changed every time he opened his mouth. No rhythm, no pattern, But when he sang, the rewriter's glow dimmed, just a little. The plan was risky. They would launch the Song of Flaws into the rewriter's core. If it worked, Earth would break free. If it failed, Earth would become quiet forever. They needed a delivery system. One human couldn't do it. A machine couldn't survive the pressure, but someone not fully human might. They found Julian's body again, still walking, still smiling, but broken, glitching, half Kyrex, half man, and deep inside, maybe still Julian. Maya approached him. "We need you." His head twitched. "You still think I'm in here?" Maya stepped closer. "No, but I think you want to know what it's like to be broken again." She held out the recording, the song. He took it, paused, then whispered, "Let's make noise." They launched him toward the rewriter. In silence, the Earth watched. Julian flew alone, one man, one message, wrapped in chaos. As he entered the rewriter's light, his signal almost disappeared. Almost. Then, it began. The Song of Flaws hit the rewriter like a virus, not a scream, not a roar, just wild, living confusion, laughter, crying, unfinished stories, wrong notes, sudden memories. Julian's last words echoed across every device. "You were right. Broken is beautiful." The rewriter cracked, not with sound, but with silence. Too much silence. It couldn't hold the chaos. The patterns broke. Its light dimmed. Its message stuttered. Weep, weep, weep. Then, boom, a flash of light. Then stars, just stars. The rewriter was gone. The sleep signal died with it. People around the world blinked. Some cried, some screamed, some simply asked, "Where am I?" But they were awake. Truly awake. Maya stood with Kieran, watching the sky. "You did it," she said. Kieran looked up. "No." He smiled. "We did." He grabbed her hand. "Let's go make more noise." Drax sent a final report to the Varnock Council. "Earth is not ready for peace. It's too alive for that. The Kyrex failed to overwrite them because humans are not perfect. They are unpredictable, incomplete, and that is exactly why they must be protected. Earth had survived, not by strength, not by logic, but by flaws, and the galaxy was listening." The sky was quiet again. No signals, no alien ships, no strange lights. For the first time in weeks, Earth was truly at peace. People returned to the streets. Laughter filled parks. Children ran without fear. The world had survived the rewriter. But the real question still hung in the air. Why? The Varnock Council met in secret, orbiting a distant star. They had watched everything. The Kyrex were ancient, powerful, and terrifying. And yet, humans had beaten them, without fleets, without advanced tech, without leaders. One Varnock elder said, "This species has no clear hierarchy, no true apex traits, no genetic superiority. Yet the Kyrex failed. How?" Drax stood before the council. He had lived among the humans. He had seen their chaos up close. He gave only one answer. They don't lead. They don't follow. They feel. Back on Earth, Maya sat alone on a rooftop, watching the stars. Eliza joined her with 2 cups of coffee. Maya asked, "Do you think it's really over?" Eliza smiled faintly. "With humans, nothing's ever over." They both laughed. Then Maya grew quiet. "We never meant to be heroes." Eliza nodded. "We were just too stubborn to lose." Around the world, change was happening. The broken ones, those once ignored, were now seen as protectors. The blind man who heard lies, now advising diplomats. The woman who painted futures. Her art helped detect hidden Kyrex traces. Kieran and the other children, now part of a global signal defense network. Earth didn't just survive, it adapted. But something else happened too. Other species noticed. From distant planets and hidden moons, watchers observed Earth closely. One message came through coded starlight. From a far-off civilization. "They defeated the Kyrex, alone. We must understand them." Another message. They are dangerous because they are unpredictable. And one final message from a dying world. If you hear this, humans, teach us how you resisted. Maya received those signals. She played them back over and over. It wasn't pride she felt. It was fear, because now she knew Earth was no longer hidden. Humanity was on the map. Drax sent one last file to the Varnock Council. It wasn't a report, it was a video. Footage of a child with autism scribbling wild symbols, a woman with a stutter teaching others to speak through rhythm, a group of trauma survivors singing a song that didn't rhyme but felt real. The video ended with Maya saying, "We never wanted to lead, we only wanted to be free." Then the words, "That's why we win, not by control, but by being uncontrollable." The Varnock Council fell silent. One elder finally spoke. "Humans cannot be ruled. They cannot even rule themselves." Another asked, "Then what are they?" Drax smiled. "They're a wildfire, dangerous, bright, beautiful. You don't lead fire, you survive it." Back on Earth, Kieran sat on a hill looking at the stars. He didn't hum this time. He whispered, "They'll come again. Others, stronger, maybe." Maya knelt beside him. "What do we do then?" He smiled. "We stay weird." The stars watched, galaxies turned, civilizations whispered, and in the middle of it all, a strange, noisy, beautiful world spun quietly. Not leading, not following, just living. And that was enough. That's why humans never lead, but always win.